Omuti say me Nigeria near. Hey, now Oma increase the price no. By force say me catchy. I was not ready to associate with Ghanaians. Yes, I was not ready to speak the language at all. Not ready to learn it, not ready to hear it, not ready. In fact, they'll be speaking English and the profile will be going fine. Before you know, Chi will enter. Before you know, Chi will enter. Before you know, Chi will enter. Another one, another one. Oh, God.
Sanders Joyful Space. Subscribe.
Hello blessed, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra and this is Sanders Joyful Space. You are welcome, you are welcome, you are welcome once again. Today I'll be talking about 5 mistakes I made while living in Ghana. Hey, oh, I made these mistakes and I learned. I learned very well. If you want to know the mistakes I made while living in Ghana, please just relax, chill. I hope you have your popcorn. I hope you have your cold drink, your cold unsio, anything you want to have. Just hold it so that we can gist, we can talk. Hey, in fact, I'm talking too much. Make us a baby. Let's just dive right into the video as it what as it they hot. Number 1 mistake I made is not associating with Ghanaians. When I came to Ghana initially, I was not ready to associate with Ghanaians. Yes, I was not ready to associate with Ghanaians. Yes, my host I was staying with was a Ghanaian and it was very nice. So that was the only person I was associating with. My host and another family friend who was, taking us around, just showing us around. I was not open to making friends with people outside the people I already knew before coming to Ghana. Don't get me wrong, I had my reasons. When I came to Ghana, I came with an open mind, I'm ready to make friends, I'm ready to mingle. I think I've mentioned this in my previous video. I was ready to mingle, but open to meeting new friends. But when I came to Ghana, some people were extremely nice to me, cool, sweet, but those few group of people that were always asking me, why are you here, what are you doing here, you are overpopulating the country, why you people should go back to your country, you people should do this. In fact, that just made me felt okay. I was you know what, I think I should just stay off these people because they don't have any interest to even be friends with me or anything like that. So I just stay on my lane and I deliberately started looking for Nigerians to make friends with. I practically just focus I put my focus on looking for Nigerian friends. I didn't want to just make friends with Ghanaians. I felt they were always putting me on that spot, asking me those kind of questions, making those kind of statements. So because I didn't want that, I just stay off them and I just stay on my lane. But that was a mistake because when you go to a new country, when you go to a new place, you want to really enjoy your stay. If you want to really feel the impact of the culture, the people, just to know more about them, you have to associate with them. So the fact that I just took myself to one corner didn't help me. It didn't help me. When I changed that mindset and I now open up to Ghanaians, I was what? What was I doing all this time? What was I doing? Why did I do that? Because I cannot just because maybe 2 or 3 or 4 persons made those kind of statements to me, just shun the whole people and say, oh no, I don't want to make friends with you. But that was what I did in the beginning. That was a big mistake because if I had even gone closer to Ghanaians more from the beginning, I believe that I would have even learned the language more, know more about them. Yeah, I did pick 1 or 2 things, but all the time I wasted saying I won't make friends with them. I would have used it to learn a lot about them, learn about the language, learn about the culture. I just wasted those time and just going around saying please, if you're in a country, try to associate with the people. Don't pick because 1 or 2 persons or 3 or 4 persons maybe are not treating you right or did something to you, kind of shun everybody out. And don't just generalize it. Just try to be open to making friends and meeting people because you never can tell. You never can tell. But 2 mistake I made is not ready to speak the language at all. Not ready to learn it, not ready to hear it, not ready. In fact, when I go somewhere and I just talk to someone and the next thing they are speaking Chi, I begin to get angry. Why? How can you just assume that everybody walking on the street speaks Twi, understands Twi. Initially, I find it so like annoying. I'm like, okay, this is a country where like different people are coming in, you know, people from different countries and all that. So I was getting angry at the people, like, why would you just meet someone, you will not just, you know, first of all know if they can speak Twi or not, you will just start speaking Twi to them, like you expect them to just understand Twi, you expect them to just know Twi, you expect them to just answer you in Twi, you expect everything is Twi. Why? In fact, I was getting like worked up. I was getting like frustrated. You even go and buy something, before you open your mouth is Twi. Hey, I'm like, hey, say, hey, by force, say make a Twi. Is it by force? Hey. Another thing is when you now get home, like in the confinement of your own home, you now say you should watch TV. You now switch on the TV. You say, okay, let me watch TV. They'll bring the Twi again. Like they'll be speaking English and the profile will be going fine. Before you know, Twi will enter. Before you know, Twi will enter. Before you know, Twi will enter. Another one. Oh God. I'm like, hey, even on TV, we cannot just, you know, watch a channel and like, you know, flow in Brofo, flow in English. Guys, that was getting me very worked up initially when I came to Ghana. I'm like, okay, what is going on? What is all this? Because where I'm coming from, when you meet someone on the street or somewhere, the first thing they will speak is English or the pidgin, because you know that we all speak different languages. So when you're not like chatting with a person and you realize that the person is coming from your state, from your place, then you can now switch to your language. But when you meet a person on the street first, you go with English or pidgin. So I was finding it like, okay, what is going on here? And Ghana was the first country I ever traveled to, like leaving Nigeria for the first time. Ghana was like the first country I went to. So I was like, okay, what is all this? Why can't they start with English? Guys, that was a big mistake, a very big mistake on my part, because you cannot just go to a country and just expect that, okay, the people are going to speak to you in English or whatever language you choose or you think they should speak to you in. Please, hello, who you be? Who are you? These people have a culture, they have a language, and they are unique in their own way, and what make up these people is their culture and their language. Even here where I live in Germany, when you go out, when you open your mouth like this, before you know, they are speaking Dutch to you. Yes, they are speaking their language. They don't even have time for all this English. Who have your time? If you cannot speak there, master, if I go corner. If you also switch on your TV here, what you hear is Dutch. So that is their culture, that is their language. You cannot come and tell them anything, you cannot come and force them, you cannot come and do them anything. So me, I don't know why I was getting worked up initially. Like I think it's because maybe I have not traveled. That was my first country. I guess that was why I was getting so worked up. But later on, when I start mixing with Ghanaians, start hearing the language, start doing my clinical, start going, I begin to say, okay, that you better start warming up to the culture, to the language, and to the people. So when I start making friends, I begin to appreciate the language. I'm like, wow, Twi is actually interesting. Like, you know, hearing the language, like, I begin to see it from a different view, and I started to gradually, like, you know, get, you know, interested in it. I'm like, okay, and small, I was now, you know, opening up to the language, you know, opening more to the people. And guys, it was the best decision I ever made. Like, it made my stay so beautiful. It made me saw the beauty of Ghana. It made me saw the beauty of the people. It made me saw the beauty of the language. It made me even appreciate the culture more, appreciate everything that makes Ghana up, that makes them Ghanaians. What makes a country beautiful and unique is the people, the culture, the language, and just everything put together. So that is just it. So if you don't embrace all those things, you will just live there and you will not really enjoy the place. When you leave and someone is asking you about the place, you have nothing to say. Yeah, you have nothing to say because you did not open up to the people, you did not open up to the culture, you did not open up to the language, you did not open up to a lot of things. And that is definitely not the best option. Like, it's not. Trust me. Now, the third mistake I made is this one, like anytime I think about it, I just begin to ask myself, why did you do that? Like, why? It's the fact that I brought in a lot of people to live with me without speaking to my landlord. Yes. When you are living in Ghana, when you rent a house, please, I am begging you, please and please make sure you talk to the landlord though, before you bring in any other person to join you in the house. Yes, don't go and bring your father, your mother, your grandmother, your grandfather, your grandsister, your granduncle, your grandpa. Please, don't go and bring all your generation, Don't go and pack them into the house, because one thing you don't want to do is annoy your Ghana landlord. Your Ghanaian Ifira. You don't want to annoy them. Because they will not just talk, or some of them will not just answer you. Maybe you come and renew your rent. I think you come and renew your rent. They are waiting for you. No, they are waiting for you. You come and renew your rent. Me, I don't know. What do I know? I did not know anything. When I was renting the house, I told the man, we are only 2. We are only 2. No, we are only 2. Just within that year, we became 6. Hey. The landlord was just looking at me like, you are bold, oh. Sister, you get mind. Okay, continue. Continue. No, you will come and renew your rent. I'm waiting for you. He did not tell me anything, though. I'm sure that was what he was thinking. Like, I will wait for this girl now. She will come and renew her rent. Please, if you are enjoying this video so far, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Yeah, that red button you are seeing there. Just hit it. Yeah. So, guys, let's continue. And yours truly, when I went to renew my rent, he said, sister, I'm not gonna renew your rent for you. And my eyes was like, hey. And the whole thing, oh, it was not easy. Easy cry. I already talked all about this in my previous video about my experience with Ghanaian landlord. If you have not watched it, I'll be linking in the description box down below, and also like dropping it in one of the cards so that you can go and hear the full gist for yourself. Like, please don't make that mistake. Don't even make that mistake. Don't try it. Like, don't try it. I learned my lesson. Like, I learned in a hard way. I learned very, very well that next time. Later, when I moved out and went to a new place, before somebody came, quickly, the first to go and tell my landlord, landlord, somebody is coming. Is it okay? Is it not okay? Yes. So I learned very well. The number 4 mistake I made is wearing my nursing uniform to the market to buy something. Hey, don't try it. Hey, mommy nurse, if you're a nurse, let me sit there. They don't know whether you are a student nurse or you are a staff nurse. So they don't want to know if you are working or you are a student nurse. Who cares? As far as we're in that uniform, the price will just go up like this. Like, it will just go high on a higher level. If the thing is 1 cedi, with your uniform, you pay 1 cedi 50 pesos or 2 cedis. Anyhow they want to add it, me I don't know, but they will try increase it for you. So if you know that you don't want to go to the market and face that situation, please, mommy nurse, don't even wear your uniform to the market. Better go home and change. Or if you know that you'll be going to the market later, please take your clothes along so that you can change. Put your uniform in the bag and go to the market with your clothes. Like, I will go to the market, like this same market that I will go with my normal clothes, and I will buy this same thing for this price. Let me just go and wear my uniform. Hey, price will change. You don't know. When you are even not trying to price it, and not like that, but it's not like this now. Can't you sell it like this? When you're not trying to bargain, they'll not tell you, hey, my minutes, what's a cow? Like, you have money. You have money now. You have money. You just be looking at them like this. When you every day, I'm a student nurse. I tell you, hey, my minutes, what's a cow? You just be looking at them like this, like seriously, like seriously. And if you now want to make matter worse, immediately they now hear my tonation, like, the Nigerian tonation. Hey, you spoil show be that. Like, you finish work with that. The omuti say me Nigeria near. Hey, now Oma increase the price. No, I'm like, hey, Omo Nigeria, you get money. Omo Nigeria, you get money. I'm like, hey, yes, so Nigerians have money. But does not mean that every Nigerian you see on the street, they have the money like that. Their bank account is just shouting a lot, bagang. So please, next time when I go to the market, hey, don't even try me. I will start trying to use the Ghanaian tonation. I will even be infusing some chi, my broken chi. When I'm speaking English, I will try to be using the Ghanaian tonation because I don't want to fall, a victim of, a high price. Yes, so please, if you are a nurse, whether student nurse, staff nurse, don't go there with your uniform. And if you are, you have another tonation, if you don't want them to catch up, just mix up with Ghanaians, get in tune with their tonation, start speaking some small chi, and by the time you do this, when you go to the market, sister, you'll be fine. Like, you'll be fine. By the time I left Ghana, I was very fine. Trust me. When I go to the market, trust me, I was very fine. I learned, and I learned very well. So the fifth and the last mistake I made is the use of my left hand. Let me explain to you. You don't understand. Yes, where I'm coming from, the use of the left hand is like, it's wrong. Like, you don't do that. Like, they teach us to use the right hand. It's more polite. We know that. Yeah. And when you use your left hand for an elder and they want to correct you, like, sometimes they do it like gently. They don't even like, go all out. They can even say, oh no, don't do that, use your right hand, it's more nice. Or some can go a bit extra and say, why did you use your left hand? Like, just, a little correction. While there are some places you will go to, they will say, who cares, please, you're coming to buy something. Especially in the market setting where I'm coming from, nobody even cares. Like, please, do you have your money? Are you holding your money? Are you ready to buy? Please buy. Like, they're ready to say, you're giving me the money with your right, left, whatever hand. Like, just come and buy. But in Ghana, please, there is no play like that too. No play reach that level. Whether you have your money, you want to buy something, in fact, you want to buy the whole shop, you're not using your left hand. Master, they will change it for you. Like, they will change it for you. So when I go to Ghana, I'm like, okay, I know using of the left hand is wrong, but why are these people like taking it to, like the anger, the way they will correct you, the way they will tell you, the way they will put you off, it will look like you commit a great sin. You'll begin to wonder, you'll be left hand I use, it pass left hand, like it pass left hand. Like, you cannot correct somebody small, like small they do now. No, they will just take it high like this. And initially I was not understanding. I was getting me a bit like, why all this drama? Like, why all these things? So the first time I experienced it was like what I spoke about on my like things that shocked me video, where the woman practically refused to sell to me. Like, she practically told me of like like she's not going to sell for me, like I should take my money and go. And she's not selling again. I'm like, wow, woo. Like, you will not say again. You will say what? She's not selling again. No. Okay. I even like, took to correction. I even like, put the money in my right hand. Still, she said she will not sell. Like, she has gotten angry with that. She don't vex with that. She's angry with that. I'm like, I generally leave now. What do you want me to do? I left. I know it's wrong, but calm down when you are correcting me. Like, take it, like, relax a bit. Like, don't take it so much. Because of all those, trying to process all those things, over analyzing of the situation, I did not quickly like, took correction, because I was always over analyzing, overthinking it. I'm like, why are they reacting like this? Because I was doing all those things, I did not like, quickly like learn from it. So, because after the first time I experienced it with that woman, I still like, made the mistake like 2 or 3 times more, and like I was really really corrected, like, harshly. I think one time it was even with a taxi driver, and the man was like, he was not having it. Like, how dare you? Like, how dare you? I was like, me pacho, fashion me, me pacho, fashion me. I was not begging like I've committed a great sin. Like, hey, people. I'm like, wow, whoa. So it was after like 3 to 4 persons have given it to me hot. Like, hot during my stay in Ghana. I'm like, Sandra, it's okay. It's time you stop like over analyzing their reaction towards this, this whole left hand thing, and over finding an explanation, it's just time for you to accept it. Just be conscious about it, like very conscious about it. So from that day I made that decision, I became like extremely conscious, like extremely, that till today it is part of me. Even here I do it when I want to use the left hand. Maybe when my right hand is busy, I will say, oh, sorry for left. I'm like, yeah, sorry for left. Like, it's now part of me, because I now took a conscious effort to like make it a part of me. So that is one thing I have to really tell myself, that Sandra, you have to just get used to this. Like, really get used to this. It's not like my mother did not teach me. My mother actually taught me, use your right hand, it's polite. But as children, go past 1 year, go fly past this year. we just saw that Charlie, we moved with that. That was a big mistake. So when you go to a country or anywhere and you see that they have like certain culture, certain ways of doing things, please don't go there and be going to, you know, state your own. If you know that you cannot keep to it, you cannot, like, you know, follow it, just try and accept it during your stay. Like, accept it during your stay there. When you go back to your country, you can be doing the way your country people do it. And when you are there, just try to, you know, adjust body. Just try to adjust your body well. Because if after the first time or the second time I was corrected, I like make conscious effort to, you know, try to, you know, work on it, I'm sure that like I would not have made the third and the fourth encounter. I would have been, you know, getting hang of things at that time. But it just took me a lot of time. I was what is this, why are they doing that? So please, when you're in Ghana, make sure you try to accept that. If you know that you cannot do it totally, please, during your stay there, just accept it, just embrace it, just try to, you know, abide by it while you are in Ghana. When you go back to wherever you're coming from or your country, you can continue anyhow you want to do it. That is it. That is the 5 mistakes I made while living in Ghana. So I hope you actually do learn 1 or 2 things, or, like, you know, gain 1 or 2 things from these mistakes I made. I call them mistakes because I was kind of wrong. Yeah, I shouldn't have, you know, done some of all those things the way I did it. Yeah, so it was kind of like mistakes, but, you know, we are all learning. Like, we learn from our mistakes. Every day is a learning process. I'm still learning. Even here where I live now, I'm still making some mistakes, and I'm learning by the day, you know, trying to, you know, get better. So if you have watched to this point, I say thank you. And even the first time coming across my face across this channel, I say you are welcome. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell beside it, so that you'll be notified whenever I post any new video. And to my returning subscribers, we for what? We for dance. My blessed people, my blessed people, my blessed people, my blessed people, my blessed people. Thank you for always coming back to watch your girl. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. I do not take you all for granted. See you all in my next video.